Hey guys, today I'm going to make homemade gnocchi. I have never made that before. We invited people all to come over in the near future for gnocchi, and I feel a little nervous about making gnocchi because I've never made it before. It's supposed to be very simple, very easy, so I'm giving it a try today. First time with you guys. Gnocchi, if those of you who don't know what it is, it's an Italian potato pasta. It has both potato and flour in the pasta. So we start off with 2 baked potatoes, which I did. We get 2 cups of flour, regular all-purpose flour would do, and 1 egg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smash the potatoes, add the egg and the flour. Make sure that the potatoes are cool enough so you don't cook the egg with the potatoes. And you can add a variety of condiments to it. I typically add some thyme and pepper to the gnocchi so give it a little more flavor. Kelly likes lots of flavor, lots of pepper, so I'm going to put a lot of pepper in it. All right, so I'm going to start making this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out into the dough. So now that we've mixed the egg, the potato, and the flour together, we've got the dough, and I'm kneading it on a nice floured surface. So I broke pieces of the dough off into round pieces like this, and I am rolling it out into thin dowels that I'm going to eventually cut into the gnocchi pieces. So I'm just rolling back and forth and just thinning it out, trying to keep it nice and even. Back and forth just like that. Evening it out. Just like that. Yeah. No, about an inch in diameter, I would think. Thought I'd go and grab myself a nice big cutting board, but I guess I didn't. It's tiny, it's falling off the sides. So the dowels are all made out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dowels and I'm just going to cut 1 to 1.5 inch little squares, just like that. So now that I've cut these into bite-sized pieces, about 1.5 inches, I take my fork and I put the gnocchi on the fork and I just roll it down to get little tiny grooves. Now you can see the grooves on it. That's to help catch the sauce. It increases the surface area on the gnocchi so that the sauce will stick to it a little better. I don't know if you see that. Alright. So here we have the gnocchi that we made earlier. And we have a pot of salted water. I didn't add any salt to my gnocchi, so I put the salt in the water. And I just a little bit of olive oil to the boiling water. And then I'm going to add my gnocchi.
Your wife is Christmas decorating.
And my wife is Christmas decorating. She's giving me blow by blow. Alright, so we're going to let that boil. So the gnocchi have started to float. So we take the gnocchi that is floating and we're going to put it in the bowl over here. Alrighty. I'm not ignoring you, I'm just taking care of the gnocchi. Gnocchi needs to be taken care of. So I have a slotted spoon and I remove. You can also use a strainer. Just a regular pasta strainer. For an added crisp, I place some olive oil in the pan and I am sauteing the gnocchi to make them a little crisp on the edges. Oh, that's a little more texture to the gnocchi. So I'm going to get ready to make the sauce. And for the sauce, I am going to have broth. I'm going to use some cognac, which is very important in this dish. I've already pre-chopped my 2 cups of shallots. No, I'm sorry, 2 shallots, which is about 1/2 cup. 2 garlic cloves, about 1/2 tablespoon of thyme. I'm going to grate some Parmesan cheese on there. I'm going to add some cream as my aperitif. Here are my gnocchi. And I'm also going to add mushrooms. These are oyster mushrooms that I bought from the local grocer. I'm basically going to just cut the stems off and rough chop my mushrooms. And I also have lobster tails boiling that I'm going to separate from the skin. I'm going to rough chop them, bite-sized pieces, and add them at the end to my sauce which will go over the gnocchi. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm doing that in just a few minutes. All right, what I have here is a pan of olive oil that's heated. I threw in my chopped shallots, the garlic that Kate sent me, and the thyme. And I'm going to saute this until the shallots turn translucent and slightly on the brown color, so that that's nice and soft. And to this, I'm going to add my mushrooms. That's almost done right here. This is where it all comes together. So I have the mushrooms. And the mushrooms are going to go right in. Mushrooms contain a lot of water. They're going to add a lot of water to the sauce. So I'm going to saute this until most of that moisture evaporates or boils off, however you want to look at it. So I like to use a wooden spoon. My favorite wooden spoon has a corner on it like that, so it gets into the crevices and edges, and I'm able to get out all the little crumbs and pieces of garlic and onion, so they don't even get stuck in one corner. So I mix this up nicely. I've been drinking a little bit of the cognac that I'm going to add. You can always use a little more cognac. It's good for the meal. It's also good for the cook. You can at this point add some salt if you want to. I have some Himalayan pink salt. You can use any kind of salt you want. I like to also use kosher salt. And for Kelly, she likes black pepper, so lots of black pepper for Kelly. Yeah. When you're cooking, enjoy yourself cooking. Cook for someone else if you want to. All right, we're getting there. Mushrooms are getting nice and soft. All right, looking good. Another minute or two. All right. Add the heat up a little bit, just a little bit, so the mushrooms will speed up the cooking process. All right, just about there. That's some delicious brew right there. Okay, so cognac, I added that to the mushroom sauce. Nothing like a lighter that doesn't want to work. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see the flames. Turn the lights out. There we go. How's that, huh? Burning of the cognac sauce adds another flavor to your day. There were some mashed marshmallows on that. Alrighty. Don't eat it with the flames going. It'll give you some heartburn. Alright, that was good. Cool. So, to this, we're going to add a little flour. The flour adds to thicken the sauce a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to mix that in thoroughly. And the recipe asks for I looked it up online. I forgot which website I got it from, but there was a recipe for mushroom sauce. I'm just adding a little lobster as an added bonus. Kelly loves lobster. All right, so here is the broth, and that's going to go in. And I'm not going to let that cook a little bit until it evaporates and thickens up a little bit. All right, so this has thickened really, really nicely. I'm going to add about 1/3 of a cup of cream to this. That's it. Earlier, you guys may have seen that I used the lighter to light the cognac instead of tipping the pan into the flame. I'm not as skilled as some of those famous chefs. I'm afraid I would lose half my sauce on the stove when I do that. Look at that. That looks really good. Alright, so now that I have the cream, it's looking nice and thick. You don't have to use a sauce for gnocchi. You can, use any sauce you want. And if you're not inclined to make a sauce from scratch, you can buy a jar of bolognese and just use that also. So don't feel that you are obligated to make a sauce from scratch. It's Parmesan cheese. Oh yeah, no. So now I'm going to turn this flame down a little bit. We don't want our sauce to burn because we're almost done. All right, so to this, I'm going to add the gnocchi that I sauteed and made earlier today. Look at that. And at this point, we go, Kelly, dinner's ready. Look at that. All right. What's left? Once we do, dinner's ready. All right, and I add the lobster that we steamed. I steamed the lobster about 10 minutes, and then I let it cool and took it out of the shell. And it's a lobster tail, so look at that. Just add that, and we're done. It's ready to be served. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope this was helpful. I appreciate it. And again, special thanks to Kate for the garlic. You guys have a lovely evening.